So good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for coming on this call. It really pleases me to introduce you all to Todd. Todd he lives in the USA, lives in California, very lucky to live in the sun. He is our #1 earner. He's the top distributor within the company, and he is full of information. Not only is he full of information, he is the one guy that you really want to go for a beer with. He's a good guy as well. He's a proud granddad. He's a proud husband. He's a proud father. Todd, over to you. Shall we have a chat and see where this call goes to?
Yeah, absolutely. We can open it up and do Q&A out of the gate, or I can bore you guys to death and tell you my story.
Let's hear your story, Todd.
Well, for those of you that I have never met, I did get started with the company back in 2013. So I've now been with P2S Travel since pretty much its inception. They started the company in February. I got started in June. So I came a handful of months after they got started. I've known the CEO and founder of the company since the late 1990s. In fact, I met Mr. Dave Hart back in 1998. I know you guys go more formally, David Hart. So I met David in 1998. He was making, $85,000 a month with the company back then. And so he had this track record of success. He's been an entrepreneur his entire life, helped pioneer the mobile car washing industry in Southern California. And so I had a pretty good history with him. And that's part of the reason I got started with the company. Prior to that, I actually started my entire networking career when I was 24 years of age. Prior to that, I owned my own lawn and landscape company. So I was one of those people that got started as an entrepreneur very young. I was 13 years of age. In high school, I had people working for me. I had 2 cars and employees and hamburgers for everybody. When I got out of high school, I bought $100,000 from a local bank, expanded my lawn and landscape operation. We had 10 trucks on the road, 25 guys. And I used to introduce myself as the account manager because I felt like I was too young to own the company. And I didn't want people to judge the company based on my age. And so my business card said account manager. And I go to these meetings, they're like, hey, you tell that boss of yours, I'll let him know. I just didn't want anyone to know I owned the company. And it was my accountant of all people who then introduced me to this incredible industry of network marketing. And my first 2 years were pretty rough. I told my younger brother, hey, I'm going to go do network marketing. You can have this lawn and landscape thing. I decided to go full-time into network marketing, which no one advises you to do. I have no idea what I'm doing. And I went flat broke. And so it took me a long time to figure out how to actually kind of really make this industry work. I suppose I was in it for about 2.5 years before things started to click for me. And then eventually I figured out that it's a business of, sharing. It's a business of, where you have to let someone else be the expert. It's a business of third-party credibility. And as I kind of figured that out, it then started to become easier and easier. And then the teams began to grow. I just had to get myself out of the way. I had to quit being the one who was doing all the telling and selling, trying to be the expert. And once I kind of figured that out, then things got easier. Of course, being an entrepreneur, you have the ups, the downs. But along the way, I've absolutely fallen in love with this industry. Have been involved in traditional business and this industry. I can tell you that there's no industry that's perfect. I don't care what business you get started. You could buy a McDonald's franchise for $2 million. And I know we got some background noise there. You could buy a McDonald's franchise for $2 million. And I promise you're going to do the ups and downs, the roller coaster ride that every entrepreneur does. You're going to have people that come in and they're going to be cussing at you and telling you your customer service is horrible, your employees are horrible, and my food was cold, and I ordered this with no pickles, and why do you put sesame seeds in your buns? And I think your company is slaughtering animals, and you're horrible people. And you're going to get every kind of thing you can imagine. And you're going to say, oh my gosh, what did I do to myself here? But because you paid $2 million for the McDonald's, you keep showing up every single day and you have to tough it out. So when you go into a traditional business, they got your money, and that keeps you on the right track. It gets you through the tough times. In our kind of a business where someone can join for as little as $129 or $249, it's easy when someone kind of rains on your parade, which happens to all of us. It's easy to quit and walk away. And that's what happens to most people. That we don't have that thing that kind of keeps them going or gets them through the tough time. And so the great thing about our business is anybody can participate. It's low cost to get started. The bad thing about our businesses is that it's so low cost to get started, it's easy to just quit. And so, the money is both a blessing and a curse. And so one of the first things we teach people is that you have to manufacture the why. The reasons come before answers. When you really have a strong why of why you want to do the business, it helps. And if you go out and just study business in general, whether it's franchising, traditional business, whether you want to go sell insurance, sell cars, you want to have an internet business, if you kind of just study business in general, then you kind of come back and you take a look at our space, you have a new appreciation for how incredible it is to be involved in this industry, how easy it is compared to other things to be involved in this industry, how you can have a global business where you have residual income, money that comes in month after month, irrespective of your day-to-day efforts. And that's just not the case in a lot of other places. Now, there's a lot of times people get a business that owns them versus them owning the business. The business enslaved them as opposed to freeing them. And I've now been in this industry full-time since I was 24. I turned 50 in about 45 days, hard to believe. So I spent more time in this industry than I've spent, out of the industry. So over half my life, I've now been involved in this space. And it's, again, compared to anything else out there, it's the greatest industry in the world. And I know that everyone here on the webinar probably has different, backgrounds, different experiences, maybe different viewpoints. And so Lawrence asked me to come on here today. Of course, I know Lawrence and his background and what he's done previously. There's no doubt he's going to blow this up and build a massive, massive team. And so all of you guys are involved with the right leader. That's always the first step. And I'm just here to see if I can help you guys in any way, understand P2S, where we're going, or, maybe share some of my experiences may help you guys.
Todd, brilliant. Now, if I may ask you a couple of questions, please, Todd, if you don't mind.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Wonderful story you've got. And guys, I urge all of you to know your story. It's so, so important. But Todd, a lot of the people on here have come on very much for the business side of the business. And do you see COVID-19 as a threat, or would you say it's more of an opportunity?
Oh, it's a massive opportunity. We have more people on Dreamcations right this very moment than we've had at any time in our company history. So when it's a massive opportunity from a threefold perspective, one, you've got people at home and they feel like they're in a home-based prison. I mean, they're like, oh my gosh, I got to get out of here. I'm going stir crazy. My own son-in-law, his father has to have, what do they call that? He's got issues with the kidney. He's doing dialysis and he's on the kidney transplant list. He's the next person up to get a kidney, which means if he were to get sick, it could cost him everything. I can't afford to get sick because if I'm sick, they're going to bypass me and go to the next person. You have to be healthy when they call and say, we have a kidney for you. And so he can't really afford to take any chances. So his own son and my daughter won't fly back to see him. Now, there's just too much of a risk. What if we pick something up and we gave it to him? Well, his own wife is going so stir crazy. She started going out to dinner with friends and lunch with friends. And of course, my son-in-law's like, Mom, you can't do that. I know it's tough, but so people, even when they have a strong reason to stay home, are having trouble doing it. So, people are inherently want to go here, go there. They want to do things. Number two, we have safe vacations. Luckily, we have resorts all over the world, and we have resorts that people can drive to. And so people can go there and then get a 1-bedroom, a 2-bedroom, or like we had a lady right there in the United Kingdom, Paula, recently, she had a 3-bedroom. So she had a 3-bedroom, 2 baths, full kitchen, living room, 2 balconies, all the social distancing in the world. I was able to get out of the house with her kids, go have fun, with her husband, and have this, 7-night, 8-day experience. I guess the normal price, and I know the USA money because I did a conversion. The normal price is $3,200 US, 190, but she paid $199 US. I think for you it's 2,800 pound, and she paid like 150 pounds, something like that. But obviously it was pennies on the dollar compared to the normal price. And so at this very moment, we've got more people on vacations than we've had at any time in our company history. Well, finally, you got 1 billion plus people who are now Googling, how do I make money from home? You got 1 billion plus people who are being disrupted by a number of things. One, you've already had our artificial intelligence, automation, disrupting countless jobs. In fact, I made that comment a moment ago that when I flew from Paris to Birmingham, that was the first time I went through an airport where it was completely automated. I never saw a single person. I mean, we're all kind of used to nowadays. You go to the airport and you print your own baggage thing, and put it on there, and you get your boarding pass, but then you at least walk up and a human being takes your bags to go put it on the scale and all that, right? No, it's completely automated. Not a single human being. And, you continue to see that automation. One of the gentlemen I work with, Danny Seguinal, he works at the hospital. And whenever there's a code blue, meaning cardiac arrest, he's one of the guys that goes in there and starts pumping on the chest to bring him back to life. And that's not his main job, but he assists in that. Well, the guy whose main job that is, well, he didn't have a job anymore because they just found a machine to do it. They now have a machine that does that instead of a human being. So it's like, wow, you think the heart attack guy would be safe, right? I mean, certainly they're going to be safe. I mean, we see the self-checkouts at all the different stores, and this automation just continues and continues, displacing countless people. Well, then you bring in COVID-19, which has now obviously disrupted countless sectors and, rewriting the rules of how people do things and changing the rules. Again, my own daughter, my own son-in-law, they both have gone to the office forever. They're both very fortunate they still have their jobs. However, the company's now considering never bringing them back. Thinking, hey, this whole work from home thing, I mean, why pay for the office building just so people can hang out at the water cooler and we can do Zooms and we've proven we can be just as productive. And so, some companies are saying, hey, we're going to maybe have you work from home. But I think that what you're going to see is just, more and more people than ever before are saying, hey, how do I make money from home? Which is, created a whole new pool of prospects that prior to COVID-19 would never say yes, would never have an interest. But today, tell me what you're doing. Tell me what you got. And the company's about to expand its offering. I know that you've probably heard that. They've kind of been teasing us. The tease should be over in about 10 days to 12 days as far as what that is. But it will expand our opportunity, help us to develop more people, help us to show more people how to make money from their phone, help people accelerating the compensation plan even faster. And I'll cover some of that a little bit later on as well.
Excellent. So, Todd, from what you say, then I agree with you fully. I mean, we're seeing huge job loss in the UK at the moment. And the reality is, as we push forward towards the end of October, we have a thing called furlough where the government is picking up 80% of our salaries for many, many employees. But we're finding people are coming back to no jobs. And the problem is they're predicting numbers could go up as high as 8 or 10 million unemployed in the UK, which is unheard of. It's never been seen before. And the reality is there are not enough jobs for all the good people sitting at home. So people are going to be forced to look at home-based business without a shadow of a doubt. We in the industry, Todd, we've heard a statement called success leaves clues. Now, a lot of people on this call are just starting out. If you had to give them any advice and you were starting again, if you were starting from day one, how would you do it?
My number one advice would be make up in numbers which you lack in skill and don't quit. You'll find that most people fail their way to the top. And you can go buy some of the greatest books on some of the greatest success stories in history, whether it be the story of McDonald's, the story of Nike shoe, countless companies, the story of Starbucks. If you go read the account of these, iconic companies that we all today think, oh, Nike, and, they got their swoosh on everything and the shoes and the sports memorabilia, and, oh, they've probably always been successful. No, that company had a near-death experience about 10 different times. One point, the bank even froze all of their assets and called the FBI. And so if you actually read the book and the account of how that happened, you're like, wow. These people went through just unbelievable ups and downs, no different than any other entrepreneur. Don't care what kind of business you start. And the more you read the different accounts of the different businesses, the more you'll recognize this is part of the process. And there are ups and downs, and that people literally fail their way to the top. No one starts off great. As kids, we understand that. When you're a kid, and if you pick up a baseball bat and a ball and you throw it up in the air and you swing and miss, you're not really, oh, that's it, I can't hit, I'm horrible. You just keep doing it again and again. And eventually we all know what happens. You kind of get it down, you kind of get the rhythm, and, for long you can hit the ball with no problem at all. And you're going to find that it's the same in this kind of a business. You just kind of have to go through the numbers. And if you're willing to do it long enough, you will in fact figure it out. And if you can just have that faith that that if I just keep doing it, there is a way. I'm going to meet the people. I'm going to create the circumstances in my life to find the people. Because I only need one on my left, one on my right. who think that, hey, the idea of traveling for less, the idea of traveling for free, or the idea of getting paid to travel sounds like a good idea. I just need one on my left and one on my right who's willing to go out and do whatever it takes for however long it takes. And I just want to make one more comment about Lawrence's point, because I thought it was a huge point, Lawrence. And that is that you guys have the furlough going on in the UK. In the United States, we have something similar where the government has been sending out checks to everybody on a weekly basis, and all that's about to come to an end, meaning that we've seen some of the devastation of COVID-19, but we haven't felt the economic devastation because so far they've been supplementing everybody. And as that starts to dry up, that's when I think you're going to have a lot of people who are no longer sitting at home collecting a check, suddenly scrambling, saying, I got to find another way. And so the real pool of people that are going to come into our space hasn't even happened yet.
Agreed. And I can't agree with you more, Todd. When people are
Miss
starting
Becky.
out,
I just saw Becky on here.
Yeah, there she is. When people are starting out, Todd, and a lot of people here haven't got their first 3 people, and I'm preaching to them the whole time. It's all about going and finding your 3 and helping those 3 get 3. Where would you start? If you started again, do you start with friends and family? Do you start with cold calling? Do you send out emails that aren't responded to? Where would you start?
Exactly. And that's exactly you. If you're asking me, that's what I did. I was somebody that I was very aggressive. I was willing to call anyone and everyone. I mean, it didn't matter who they were. If they had a bumper sticker on the back of their car that said, lose weight now, ask me how, Herbalife, I'd go up and say, hey, I'm in this company. Are you open? Are you looking? I mean, I would hit up anybody and everybody. And so, yes, cold market, leads, newspaper ads. I did it all. I called every single person I know, no exceptions. I read a book about how there was a gentleman at the University of Illinois at Chicago, and he had a certification program on the network marketing industry. And I called him up and tried to prospect him. And it's funny because he had some pretty good advice for me. He says, look, I don't really do networking. I teach the course here, but I appreciate your aggression. If you keep doing what you're doing, young man, I think I was 24, 25 at the time. He goes, if you keep doing what you're doing, there's no doubt you'll end up making it in this business one day. And so, I really appreciated him saying that. Ironically, he went on to write a book called The New Professionals. And in that book, actually got quoted years later. I don't think he ever remembered that I prospected him way back when.
Amazing, Todd. And we all know there's a thing called a system, and it's something that you preach and I preach and lots of other people who have been successful in network marketing. Why would you say to all the people on this call, why would you say sticking to the system is so important?
Well, because systems duplicate. If you make yourself the issue, your business can't grow further than you, meaning you've kind of just traded in one job for another. And when you kind of let the system, and you set up a system where you kind of do A, we do B, we do C, it'll work every time, don't ever change it. When you let the videos do the explanation, when you teach people to do 3-way phone calls, it's something that can replicate through your organization, and it's no longer dependent upon you. You don't have to be present for the business to duplicate. And so you'll find that when you, again, get yourself out of the way, you quit making yourself the main issue, and you just become a messenger, not the message. You teach people to watch the videos, you teach people to do 3-way calls, you teach people to plug into the Zooms. And then finally, there's this weird phenomena that no one can fully explain, but it's true. It's even permeates throughout the Bible, by the way. I'm not trying to get religious, but it's there. And that is the fact that you cannot be a prophet in your own land. You're going to find out that your friends and family are like your kids. Love you, trust you, will not listen to you. And for whatever reason, you can tell your kids something all day long, and it's like in one ear, out the other. Any other parent can say, oh, honey, this. Oh, thank you so much, Mrs. So-and-so. I'm so glad you told me. I mean, it's like, you're like, what, are you kidding me? And what am I moot? And it's like, for some reason with your friends and family, you can tell them about our company, and they want to spar with you over every little aspect of everything. You can say, people like to travel. Well, not everybody likes to travel. Some people don't like to travel. It's like, really? I mean, you can't even get the presentation out, and they're just trying to tear down everything you say. Where you can put someone they don't know from Adam on the phone, and people like to travel. That's true. People do like to travel. They make all the same points you made, but suddenly they're like, yeah, that's true. And when it's all said and done, they're like, man, that makes a lot of sense. And so for some reason, it's this weird phenomenon. It has to come from somebody else. And so when you let the system do the work, the third party does the selling for you. When you try to do the work and you're the one doing the telling and selling, it's a pretty frustrating process because, again, you'll find people that love to travel, they need to make money, and for whatever reason, they're not buying, and it's because you're the one trying to do the selling.
So you would agree then, Todd, that for people who've just joined the business, they speak to friends or they speak to family, they get them on to, let's say, a presentation with one of us. I have quite a few presentations with the guys on here. They allow me to do the selling. So a lot of the new people don't have to worry about the selling side of the business. Do you think that's really important?
Unbelievably important because most people don't think they can sell. And one of the first things you want to point out to people is that, well, remember how I did it with you? I simply asked you a question, had you watch a video, got you on the phone with Lawrence. He answered all your questions and you signed up. Like, oh yeah, you're right. I can do that. When they realize how little involved you were in the process, it suddenly makes them believe they can do it. And that's the number one thing that you want to communicate to someone. In fact, the number one reason people don't join our business is because they ponder whether or not they can do it. So often we spend so much time trying to convince them how incredible travel is and how big it is or how much money you can make. And the truth is they already bought into that a long time ago. They're just not sure that they personally can make this work. They're not sure they can personally do it. And if I were to use an analogy, let's pretend I said, we have an aging population. Therefore, neurosurgery is going to be massive in the future. I mean, you can make 7, potentially 8 figures all day long, Vanessa. All you have to do is become a neurosurgeon. Well, you might be in the audience thinking, you know what? I believe in the numbers. I believe in the demographics. I believe in the business model. I just don't believe I personally can do it because I'm not a neurosurgeon. And oh my gosh, I got to go to school and will I get accepted? How much money? And what about, all these other things are running through your head. And I'm still over here. No, you don't get it, Vanessa. Neurosurgery. It's going to be huge. And it's like, you're not really sparring with that. You're only sparring with not you personally can do it. And so sometimes the easier we demonstrate by the system, the easier it is then to communicate, you can do this. Because look how, I sent you a text message, you went and watched a video, you got on a Zoom, you heard from some other people, and now you're ready to sign up. Did I do any selling? You're right. I can do this, and then now they're ready to go.
Correct. Just look at me when I joined this business, and I've got a history of network marketing, but poor Becky had the task of trying to get me onto a Zoom call. She eventually got me onto a Zoom call with you, Todd. And I said no. In fact, I said no twice. And then I thought about it. And eventually in my own head, all the cogs started to work and it clicked together. And then I looked at the other opportunity and here I am sitting with you on a call with everyone else. So an important message there, don't give up when someone says no. But one of the guys on this call, they had a couple of problems raised today, Todd, and I think you're a great one to ask. So my uncle Dave, who's a builder, and my friend Bob, who's a butcher, they believe this just sounds too good to be true. How could you go on holiday for $1? Come on, pull the other leg. How would you reply to that?
Well, first and foremost, you might want to make sure you explain the whole thing because you're not going on holiday for $1. You're joining the membership. You're paying your monthly dues. You're getting 70% off versus retail. Of course, they might want to help them understand how the entire travel model works, where Expedia and Priceline mark it up. The real net price is down here, and they mark it up. And sometimes the way I kind of prove that to people, pull up a list of the top 10 internet companies in the world, and you'll see Amazon on the list. No one's surprised. Facebook's on the list. No one's surprised. Google's on the list. No one's surprised. Netflix is on the list. Alibaba's on the list. eBay's on the list. But you know who else is on that list? 2 travel companies, Expedia and Priceline. Now, they do not own anything travel related. They don't own a hotel. They don't own a cruise ship. They don't own an airline, car rental agency. So how are they making billions and billions and billions of dollars on the same list as Amazon if they don't own anything travel related? It's because they're taking the wholesale price, they're jacking it up, selling it to you, and making you think you're getting a good deal. How are they doing that? Because they went and bought up all the other sites. So when you go out there, you think you're price shopping. Let me go over to Kayak. Oh, I'm going to go over to, Travelocity. Oh, I'm going to go over to Orbitz. Now I'm going over here. Now I'm going over there. And you check 6, 7 sites. They all got the same price. Well, it must be a good deal because they all have the same price, not knowing the whole time they own all the sites. The fix is in. And so when people begin to understand that there's huge markup in travel, that being one. 2, you're joining the membership. And with the membership, you pay your monthly dues. You're getting 2 to 3 amazing vacations per year. Yes, you can go for $1 per night, but don't forget that's also your membership fees. Now, the cool thing is that with the membership, you can tell 3, and now you got your membership for free. Now you really are going for $1 per night because the membership's costing you nothing, but that's because you earned it by telling 3 other people. And so anytime you can show someone how to get the thing they really, really want to do, a vacation, for significantly less, that's pretty exciting. And then we take it one step further and show them how to get it even for free. That's really exciting. And you can take that one step further and show people how they can actually get paid for showing other people how to do the same thing. And so some people are only interested in step 1, some people are interested in step 2, and some people are interested in all 3 steps. And Lawrence, I think you made a huge point earlier, by the way, when you talked about the fact that you said no twice. And of course, that happened fairly quickly. Yes. For some people, you guys are going to learn that you'll talk to people today, they'll end up joining your business 2 years from today. You'll talk to people today, they'll end up joining your business 18 months from today, or 12 months from today, or 4 years from today. And so as you learn to kind of do this professionally, we don't hold people down and give them noogies. We don't, beat people up and, and make them feel bad because maybe they're not ready today. Understand that we're in the sorting business, not convincing. You are looking for people who are looking for you. And when you're professional about the whole thing and you say, hey, do you mind if I keep in touch with you and let you know how it's going for me? Just kind of drip on them here or there. Eventually the timing will be right. We're like, yeah, tell me more about this thing you've been doing. Or I've been watching you online. I see you traveling the world. I see you going on these vacations. I see that you rank advanced. I see you got your ring. I see you went and got your brand new car. Or you just moved to a bigger home. This thing's really working for you, isn't it? And so at some point, they're going to come back to you. And so I just thought that was a massive point that you made, Lawrence, about, and sadly, Lawrence, I can tell you right now, there's a couple of people on my team that I did not prospect them. They were prospected by other people a long time ago that quit the business. That by time the superstars that they could have had in their business came around to say, yes, I want to join, they were no longer here to sign them up. They just didn't stick around long enough. And that is so commonplace. I can't even begin to tell you guys how often that's going to happen. If you stick around, if you're one of those people that sticks around, you're going to be telling them, you're like, oh my gosh, John could have had one of the biggest legs in the entire company, but he quit. And that happens. Every single day we see this go on. You hear the story here, story there. Again, my number one advice is just don't quit and talk to lots of people, and eventually you will figure it out.
Exactly. And be a product to the product. Very important to be a product to the product, guys. Go out there, just like Becky did. I'm just looking, I can see Becky on the screen. She's been on 2 holidays. She spoke exceptionally well on Tuesday night and told us a lot of little tips and experiences about what she done on her holiday, which was fantastic. Todd, the real difficult one that a couple of people have asked when I asked people, because I phoned a lot of people today and asked questions. And, how can I be sure it's not one of those pyramid-y, salesy things?
Well, everyone has kind of a different way of answering that question. And I'm just going to give you the most common version I give when people say, is this a pyramid thing? I always say, yes. Okay. Is this one of those pyramid things? Yes. Like Herbalife, like Mary Kay, like Amway, like Tupperware. A lot of times people don't always mean it in the negative connotation. Sometimes they just couldn't think of the word network marketing. They couldn't think of the word multi-level marketing. They couldn't think of the word relationship marketing. They just want to know is this one of those kind of structures. And so when I say yes, like Tupperware, like Pampered Chef, by the way, Pampered Chef's owned by Warren Buffett, the 3rd richest guy on the entire planet. A lot of people don't realize that. Like Primerica, which is owned by Citigroup, a Fortune 500 company that does billions and billions and billions in the United States. Yes, like one of those companies. Like Amway, the owners of Amway are in the top richest, the Forbes richest 400 people in the world. They own the Orlando Magic. They own the Amway Center in Orlando. And so, they're multi billionaires. Yes, we hope it's exactly like that. So, we want to get just as big as those guys. And so sometimes people don't always know the name network marketing. They don't always mean, is it one of those illegal pyramids? But when you say yes, like Amway, like Mary Kay, you can also then talk about the growth of the industry. This industry is exploding. Here in America, we have the National Football League, which I know we play in the United Kingdom from time to time. So you guys may be familiar with the Super Bowl. And I know you guys call football soccer. We call it soccer. You guys call it football. And then, of course, we got the rugby people. They're like, that's, with where they wear helmets, wimps. But, over here, the football where they put the helmets on is big time business. And network marketing is now 20 times the size of the National Football League. So let me take an industry we're probably all familiar with. How about the movie industry and the music industry? You can take the movie industry, combine it with the music industry, take it times 2, and it's still not quite the size of the network marketing space. And so this network marketing industry, this pyramid thing you're describing, is getting bigger every single year. And another thing that helps, it's easier in America to explain this, but when you look at franchising, McDonald's, Subway, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Domino's, I'm just trying to hit enough franchises that everyone on the call knows what I'm talking about. Burger King, Wendy's. When you look at franchising in the United States, franchising came within 11 votes, 11 of being outlawed. Oh, that's a scam. What do you mean? You're going to charge people money up front to buy your business model, and then you're going to charge them a percentage of their sales? That's illegal. Congress debated this. And again, within 11 votes of being outlawed by Congress. And now you have 30% of all goods and services that are moved through franchising. And so network marketing has gone through a similar process where, it was incepted. And then in the 1970s, people wanted to challenge its legality. Network marketing won that battle, but yet it was still kind of maybe an industry that people kind of like weren't necessarily proud of. And then it's now gotten to the point where there's books written about it, magazines. It's on the front cover of magazines. And today, people are proud to say that I'm a network marketing professional. And back when I got started, people wouldn't necessarily claim that title. They wouldn't put that on their Facebook page. Today, they do it with pride. Yes, I work from home. I'm able to do what I want, when I want, with whom I want, because I want. I have 6 Saturdays, 1 Sunday. People say, Todd, what time do you get up in the morning? I say, when I'm done sleeping. What time do you get up? Because I have no place that I have to be. And so, today, it's funny too, Lawrence, because growing up, I had this dream of, because, I graduated high school in 1989. And so in the 1980s, the idea of success, and I was into success. I mean, I wanted to have my lawn landscape company. I mean, I had this thing inside of me that I wanted to succeed. And back then, success was you were going to be in New York City or Chicago or London in some high rise. You had the corner office. That's what the epitome of success was. Being in some, massive office, some skyscraper downtown. And ironically, I never got that corner office, but I ended up having what I call the new dream, which is working from home, because no one wants to be in the corner office anymore. Nowadays, people want to be at home in their shorts, in their T-shirt, sitting by the pool, drinking their cup of tea, water, or whatever your favorite beverage might be, on a Zoom, on the phone, just able to do completely what you want, having a global business that keeps getting bigger, having an income that keeps getting bigger. It's not capped. It's not capped based on the good old boys club. It's not capped based on fake glass ceilings. It's not capped based on whether or not you went to Oxford or Cambridge or went to the right schools or from the right track or you went to the right country club, or it's not based on any of that. The computer does not know whether you are black, whether you are white, whether you are Catholic, whether you are Lutheran, whether you are male, female. The computer doesn't know. It is the ultimate production-based equal opportunity for each and every single one of us. And you can go out and tell a few who tell a few, and your team can grow all around the world to the point that many of your teammates don't even know who you are. Many of you today, I'm meeting for the first time. You didn't join this company based on me and where I went to school. You didn't even know me. And the same thing's going to happen for every single one of you in a short period of time, where you'll have people in other parts of the country, people here in the United States, people in Kansas and Florida and Illinois and Nebraska, and people in the Caribbean and Mexico, and people in Latin America, people in Argentina and Chile and Colombia. You'll have your team in Canada, and people are getting involved, and your income is growing because of that.
Correct, Todd. And I think what I really like about this business as well, Todd, it's the most honest business in the world. If you're consistent, it doesn't matter if you put in half an hour, or 4 hours, your growth will be at different speeds. But if you're consistent, if you do and take steps every single day, if you get involved with the Zoom calls, if you stay connected to the business, you will enjoy success.
Yes, unequivocally. And earlier, Lawrence, you made a comment about being a product of the product. When you look at this network marketing space, which is massive and getting bigger every year, we are a $1 trillion trend. So I hope all of you guys recognize that this is a $1 trillion trend. It is on the uptick. It is on the rise. And being a product of the product is something that you definitely want to do. and which is why you should all be thankful that you're in the travel business. I got to go on vacation like Becky, go to the resort, have a good time, because there are some companies, when you got to be a product of the product, it is tough to do, and I've been in a few of those. They take the powder and they mix it up, and you're like, good stuff. You should buy some. I mean, that's a tough thing to sell, right? I mean, you got to choke some of this stuff down, and it's, it's tough to be a product of the product in some of these companies. Here, you just got to go have fun. Just be a human being and go on the vacation you like and sit in the jacuzzi or at the pool or play tennis or go on bike rides or hikes or, drink wine or whatever it is you do, right? Just have fun and, come back and tell people how much money you saved. And that's another thing. Our product works for everybody. It doesn't matter. That's not always true in a lot of companies. I've been with companies where when it's a nutrition product, it can be tough. Maybe I got this weight loss product and you meet Becky, who's over here running triathlon. She's like, weight loss? I look like I need to lose weight. She's almost offended, and you get other people that, you give it to them. They're like, oh, that stuff tastes nasty. I can't do it. Or they had a horrible experience. I took that stuff. I lived in my bathroom for 24 hours. I will never take it again. You get other people that they take it and it just doesn't work. And so you get this variety of experiences on the product. And so not only now I got to find someone who's open to taking it, I got to find someone who it actually works for. Here, again, we just got to find people that want to go on vacation for less. And the product works for 100% of the people. It doesn't matter, what your chemistry makeup is. Doesn't matter whether or not you need to gain weight, lose weight, any of that kind of stuff.
That's what I love about the product as well, is the fact that you don't have to explain what a Spanish holiday is. I'm not trying to explain what a Portuguese holiday is. I don't have to explain who Mickey Mouse is. You want to go to Rio, whatever you want to do in the world, I don't have to explain that to you. And if you've ever sold some of the other products, the crypto coins and all that, you're selling to a very small part of the marketplace where holidays appeal to all of us. And we're not asking anyone to change the way they holiday. We're just saying to them, we can help you have more holidays, which is what I really love, Todd. Graham's asked a really good question, and I know you're in a good position to answer this, Todd. And his question is, where do you see this business placed when compared to World Ventures?
That is a great question. World Ventures, they are the 5,000-pound gorilla in our space. And so I can do nothing but have admiration and respect for them. Ironically, I have a history with the owners of World Ventures. Back when late 1990s, I was on top of the world in a network marketing company. Mike Asquith, one of the founders of World Ventures, had hit rock bottom. And so I was visiting my buddy Greg, who's paid to stay with us today. I was in Dallas, and Greg said, hey, I got this buddy. He's really, things down and wants to come over, have lunch, and wants some advice. And so here comes Mike Asquith. He was just struggling at the time. And we had lunch. I bought him lunch. We had a good time, had a good conversation. He wasn't even thinking about starting World Ventures yet. But it was amazing to see this young guy who was struggling go on to found an iconic company in our space. And so I've got massive respect for him and Wayne and what they've done and what they've built. If you talk to leaders of World Ventures, a lot of complaints about the pay plan. Even a lot of World Venture leaders would admit that it's a tougher pay plan for new people. I heard they changed their policy recently, made it a little easier. But for the longest time, if you didn't have 30 people in your left leg and 30 people in your right leg, that's a team of 60 people, you were not even eligible for residual income. And so if you go back and find their comp plan from just a couple of years ago, that was still the case. I heard they recently changed that, and it could be because of changing conditions on the ground or because of the rise of companies like ours, where we're making it so much easier for people to make money. They might be getting more and more complaints about the way they set things up. Further, when you join World Ventures, they give you credit for the points that you when you first buy into it. So the very first payment you make, you get points you can use on a trip from that initial purchase. But the next 12 purchases, you cannot use those for a year. And so they kind of fake people out. No, you can use your points right away on the initial payment. What about my next payment? Nah, you can't use those for 12 months. What about the payment after that? Yeah, 12 months. Payment after that? Okay, yeah, you got me, 12 months. So you have to be there a full year before you can use that trip. And that's just not the case with us. Today, you can join our company. The day you join, you have access to the points that you were given day one. We have trips available that you can apply those to. You make a payment next month, you get double points. So if I'm a platinum, I make my $125 payment, I get 250 points plus my initial 250 points. I got 500 points. I can go there and find a vacation for $499, apply my 500 points, and I'm going on vacation for $250. And so suddenly I'm 7 nights, 8 days free. I've only been in this thing 2 months. If I go one more month, now I'm going for like $100. And so after 3 months, I've already bought it down to a price way below anything I can find online. I have immediate use of my points. And so we're a little more user-friendly from a vacation use point of view. We have the 2,000 resorts all over the world that people can go to. They do an unbelievable job with the dream vacations. I mean, we are not even close. We call them world tours. They call them dream vacations. I mean, what they do in the dream vacation arena absolutely kicks our butt. Unfortunately, their strength doesn't show right now because of COVID-19. We don't have as many people saying, hey, let's all get together at the same resort at the exact same time. Instead, now that fact that we are stronger in the 2,000 resort category really bodes in our favor, because this is where you go with your family by yourself, and you got a 2-bedroom, full kitchen, living room, and no one around you. And people are like, yes, I like that idea. No one around me. And so we have these safe vacations.
I think that is one of our USPs, and I know World Ventures quite well. I was actually asked to head up South Africa for World Ventures, and I declined it. And the reason I declined it was I believe holidays are family orientated. I believe our USP in this company is the ability to take my wife and my children away with me. And that is the USP, is to be able to go away with you and your circle of friends, you and your family. That is our USP without a shadow of a doubt. I don't have to go on holiday unless I want to with 60, 70, 80 other people. And that's what I really love about this company, is if I want to go to Hard Rock Cafe in Tenerife, I can make that choice. I can take that decision and go there, which is fantastic. But my USP is the fact that I can go away with my holiday, my family more frequently on holiday. And on that point, Todd, and that's why I'm mentioning it. So based on most of our people on this call, if not all of them, are all platinum. So we're all earning 250 points a month. Are you saying to me that realistically every 2 to 3 months, our people can go on holiday? So they can go on holiday 3 or 4 times a year just with the Dreamcation product?
Yeah, I think it works out where platinums can probably go about 3 times per year. It's all based on what you're willing to pay, because you can use your points anytime you wish. So you can go on holiday, use up all your points, make a payment next month, go on another holiday, and just apply some of your points. You just have to pay the difference. And so you earn enough points where you can be going for definitely twice a year. I mean, you definitely have, the 14 nights, 16 days, where you can go to all kinds of resorts for the $1 per night, unequivocally 2 times a year. Based on which resort you go to, how much it costs, and your points, sometimes that can happen 3 times a year. So you can go 2 to 3, it's 2 to 3 times per year if you're going at the lowest possible price. Now, if you're willing to pay a little extra money, then it could be 4 times a year. But yes, I mean, people are going and traveling all the time. For those of you that ever tune into some of the stuff we do in America, you may have mentioned or heard of Daryl and Maria Roberts. They are part of your guys' support team, and they literally live in resorts. Every time we turn around, they're in a different resort, because Daryl has a membership, Maria has a membership, all their kids have memberships. And every time you turn around, they're going to a different resort, and they're in Arizona, they're in Washington, they're in Vegas, they're here, they're there. The last time they were in Arizona, they had a 2-bedroom. It was just Daryl and Maria. They didn't even have the kids with them, and they still got the 2-bedroom. Why not? It cost $4 a night. I mean, yeah, I sprung for the extra bedroom,
Exactly.
That way, if Daryl is at the doghouse, he's got someplace to sleep.
Not too frequently, I hope.
You're in the other room tonight.
On the residual income, Todd, when I first spoke to you, you were really excited. I know we connected and understood the binary commission, so it wasn't that hard to explain it. But what is the reason you get so excited about our commission plan? Why do you think our commission plan is one of the best in the marketplace?
Well, to me, it's the evolution of compensation plan methodology. If you go look at like the Amway plan, I mean, that was one of the original plans, and it's just really, really, really tough. There's no company that has started since the year 2000 that would use anything even remotely like what Amway uses. NSA, Equinox, Herbalife, some of the old mainstay breakaway companies. You just cannot make a plan like that today work. Those plans work because the companies are so big, so massive, so much global presence, so much leadership, so much income validity, such diverse product. that they got so much momentum that they make it work in spite of the fact that they have a very antiquated compensation program. And so it's like using I guess it's like having a prop engine versus a turbine engine. Well, then along the way, we got to learn more about compensation plans. And in the old days, people wanted you to go 10 wide, 15 wide, 20 wide. And we eventually began to learn that compensation plans tend to come out like the pyramid on top. They come out like the pyramid on top, then they come down very, 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 very deep, and they eventually shrink at the bottom. That's one of the ironies when people say it's just one of those pyramid things, because network marketing is the only structure we know of that does not form a pyramid. Only the theory of it does. The reality is they come out on top like that, come down very, very, very deep, and they shrink at the bottom. And why would they shrink at the bottom? Well, it's like Amway, Herbalife, Mary Kay. Most of you have heard about it, right? Great companies, great products. You might be willing to be a customer. I'll buy some mascara. I'll buy some skincare. I'll buy some weight loss. I'll buy some tea tree oil if it's Melaleuca. But I'm not going to join the opportunity. I've already heard of it. I'm no longer excited. So the recruiting shrinks at the bottom. Retailing goes up. Recruiting shrinks at the bottom. Any other form of structure you can think of, and it's a pyramid. You got the CEO on top. I mean, I was born and raised Catholic, so I can say this. You got the popes, the cardinals, the bishops, the priests, the deacons. I mean, it's a pyramid, right? It's the CEO, the vice presidents, the assistant vice presidents. Even if you're there at Range Rover Range Rover, that's a UK company, right? So if I'm at Range Rover and I'm actually on the factory floor, helping make the car, I'm running the machines and doing the rivets and all that type of stuff. What are the chances of me there on the factory floor making more money than my immediate supervisor? Can that happen? Ever? What if I work really, really hard, Lawrence? I don't take any breaks. I'm the fastest in history. Can I make more than my money than my immediate supervisor? No. What are the chances of me getting from the very floor, factory floor, to become the CEO at the top? Zero. Cannot happen. It is a pyramid. The definition of a pyramid, that is the true definition of a pyramid. Here in our company, Lawrence, you can make more money than me. Becky can make more money than me. Vanessa can make more money than Lawrence. It's not based on where you're at in the structure. It's based on what kind of a team you go out and build. Well, along the way, compensation plans evolved, and they began to learn how to tap into the depth of these structures. And so binaries became very popular. And at one point, people tried to, oh my gosh, the binary, that's horrible. I would never do one. Now it's the most popular pay plan in our industry. Well, then even within the binary, we learn more about how these things grow, and what happens. And so along the way, when you look at, today, back when I started my career, we only had a handful of companies out there. There were just a handful of companies, and they were huge. Today, anytime someone has an idea, 50 other companies come out and copy it. But yet they roll out these pay plans where you got to have 10, 20,000 people on your team to make any real money. Well, it's getting tougher and tougher to have that size team, because every time, you turn around, someone's, taking some people from your team, come over here, we'll make you the master distributor of our company. And so your team's always kind of being picked on. People are always trying to recruit people away from your team. And so the compensation plan methodology evolved again and said, we need to show people how to make a lot more money with a much smaller team. And so when you look at 99% of the binary compensation plans out there, it takes a team of about 500 people to make $2,000 to $2,500 a month. And that's just the number. That's what it takes. In our competition program today, it does not take 500 people to make $2,000 to $2,500 a month. It only takes somewhere between 50 and 80 people. You can have 25 to 40 people in your left leg, 25 to 40 people in your right leg. So when you think about that from a practical point of view, what are my chances of helping anyone who's joining our business today go out and make a couple $1,000s per month? Is it going to be easier to do over here where I have to have a team of 500? Or is it going to be easier to do over here where I only have to have a team of 50 to 80? And we all know the answer. That's like a fraction of the people. Exactly. So it's way easier for people to realize that particular dream. Well, the company's about to evolve that again. We have something new that's coming out. Again, that secret will be out probably in about 10, 11 days. But it's going to be something that's, again, it's all about helping people live the life, live the dream. It's going to be fun. For most of you, I think you're going to go. And so you'll be excited. And if people were to say, yes, I want that, well, then it means that people only have to have 12 people in their left leg and 12 people in their right leg to make $2,000 to $2,500 a month. So again, and 99% of the companies out there are going to have a team of 500 people, 250 left, 250 right. or I go over here and join P2S Travel, get 4, enjoy some free vacations, help my 4 get 4, they got some free vacations, and I'm almost at $2,000 a month. I mean, 250 or 12 and 12. I mean, 12 and 12 sounds pretty good. Well, let me evolve this one more time. Let's say that you go out there and you get 4, got yourself some free vacations, help your 4 get 4, they got some free vacations, and then help their 4 get 4. So you got 4, you help your 4 get 4, that's 16 people on your second level. So your 4 plus 16, that's a total of 20. Help their 4 get 4, that gives you 64 on your third level. You have a team of 84 people. You are now halfway to a 6-figure income. Halfway. It only takes 88 left, 88 right.
Yeah. And when you say that, am I correct in saying, and I obviously know the answer, but am I correct in saying with P2S, once you reach your certain ranks, you get paid month after month after month for doing the job once and then maintaining those levels at a constant level? So as long as your levels don't drop below the qualifying criteria, if you keep on building, you keep bringing people in, but you maintain the 40 that you're talking about, or whatever the number is, you're earning money month after month after month. You're never starting from zero. You're always starting from where you are from a financial point of view.
Exactly right. I always call it the Sylvester Stallone phenomenon. For those of you who know Sylvester Stallone, he did the movie Rocky. And of course, he only filmed the movie Rocky once. Okay, well, he actually did it 10 times. But he only did Rocky 1 once, right? So he did Rocky 1 one time back in the 1970s. And the guy's still getting paid on that movie. And of course, you know, the amount of money he gets paid can fluctuate based on how much the movie's being bought or sold or rerun at that particular time. So just like Lawrence, as long as I kind of maintain, well, what happens if people quit watching the movie? Well, then his income from that's going to go down. But he only did the movie one time back in the 70s. And he's still getting paid off that same movie from way back when. Well, then he went and did Rocky 2. Well, now I'm still getting paid on Rocky 1. Now I'm also getting paid on Rocky 2. And then he did Rocky 3. I'm getting paid on Rocky 1, Rocky 2, Rocky 3. And the same phenomenon happens here. And maybe you go out and you recruit Becky, and you recruit Vanessa, and you recruit me, and you recruit Lawrence. You did the work one time to recruit us 4. But if 5 years from now, 10 years from now, of course, I've been here since 2013, you could say 7 years from now, if Todd's still here, building a business, getting customers, putting people in, you did the work to recruit me one time. And 7 years later, you're still going to get paid on me and my team that now spans 50 countries all these years later. That is this amazing magic of this industry called network marketing. Something every one of you can participate in. Every one of you can have a team that spans the globe. Every one of you can have a team that, by the way, when we talk about spanning the globe, it gives you a certain amount of security. Maybe COVID-19 is really bad in the UK, but it's not bad in Latin America. By the way, COVID-19 is not bad in New Zealand. They locked the entire island down. I mean, New Zealand's a great place to be right now. Australia's done a decent job. And so, I mean, there are places where maybe, hey, it's really bad over here, but it's not bad over there. And you know what? The economy in the U.S. just tanked. But my European team is doing incredible. My Latin team is doing incredible. And so you have a global business that's isolated from local conditions, local economies, local elections, local currencies. And so therefore your income becomes stable, allowing you to just live your life and have fun.
Correct. And I think that's the one piece that a lot of people don't get, Todd, is when you come into a business like this, I mean, you know, in my last company, I grew to 12,000 people. I only knew probably 150 of those 12,000 people. And, you know, we're at such an exciting position with this company, with P2S at the moment. We've seen Hayes Travel, which is a big travel company in the UK, having to shut heaps and heaps of stores. We've seen Thomas Cook fall over. We've seen TUI, the big holiday company, shutting hundreds of stores. You know, this market is ready for disruption. Where we are today, our team is this big in the UK. Our team is this big in Dubai. It's this big in Zimbabwe. It's this big in South Africa. But in
I think that's generous.
It's going to be this big.
Yeah.
And as Todd says, if you hang in there, guys, if you start to build slowly, we are all, every single one of us is going to see phenomenal growth. And, you know, if this team does hit 20, 30,000 people across those 3 or 4 countries in the next 2 to 3 years, that means you're going to have thousands and thousands of people in your individual teams just because you got in there, you dealt with the frustrations when you're getting started, you became a product to the product, you went on the holidays, and you hung in there, and your team just got monstrous. A couple of other questions, please, Todd, if you don't mind. Werner, what is the new product? We can't tell you. I don't know. I haven't got the faintest idea. I believe Todd will know, but we're not going to be able to without torturing him. He's not going to let us know what it is. So yeah. None of us know. None of us know.
Guys, I would say, guys, I'm the best leak in the business, and the moment that I can share it, I will. We're just a slightly premature, but it will be any moment you'll know.
And then Graham asked another question, and before you answer it, Todd, I've got a bit of an answer on this one. But he says Zimbabwe, and it does. Zimbabwe is a beautiful country. It has amazing holiday resorts and sites. How do we see positioning going forward with the Vic Falls, with Wanky, with Lake Kariba and all these places? To answer that very quickly, Werner today, he done a big search of safari parks with me. We spent about 2 hours together on Zoom. We searched safari parks, and we searched lots of places in South Africa and PE on our net wholesale pricing. On a 10-day holiday in Cape Town, an amazing apartment, he saw something like a 25 or 28,000 Rand discount, which is the same bed, the same pillows, the same coffee machine, exactly the same hotel for 28 grand less. And I think you could buy it at 14 grand, 10 days over the Christmas and New Year period. We searched some of the top safari parks in the whole of Southern Africa, and the discounts were just phenomenal. Todd, sorry, I jumped in there. Sorry to jump in, but
no, I think that's phenomenal. And I was actually going to backtrack a moment ago too, because you were talking about earlier, Lawrence, about your team, that spanned the world, and it's exciting. And just reminding people, sometimes some of these things take time. I'm assuming all of you probably know what Starbucks is. Some of you've drank at Starbucks, gone to a Starbucks, heard of Starbucks. They got 40,000 locations. And I've always asked people this question: how would you like to have as many people in your downline as there are Starbucks in the world? I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. I mean, it only takes 8 with what we have coming. It only takes 88 left, 88 right to be a 6-figure earner. Imagine you got 20,000 left, 20,000 right. I mean, you are a multi-millionaire. And people are like, yes, I would do anything. You sure? Yes, I would. If I knew that I was going to have the same track record as Starbucks, I would do whatever it took. Because it took Starbucks 17 years to get 17 stores. Again, 17 years to get to 17 stores. Everyone talks about it today because they got 40,000 and they're everywhere. People forget about the early days when they were just grinding it out. They only had a small few, and we all start the same place. Today you might be thinking, I just got this little team. I've only got 1 or 2, and I'm kind of trotting along. I've been here 6 months or 12. I mean, again, if you just kind of stick with anything, eventually it starts to maturate and take off and explode, but most people don't stick around for that explosion that takes place. So,
Todd, I'm very aware of the time, both for your time, and I thank you very much for what you've given us tonight. It's been fantastic. But I need to ask you about the payments. We've got people here from Africa. I can vouch, guys. My card's arrived. I've got my online card and I've got my physical card, and it works a treat. It genuinely does. Will these virtual cards be given to the guys in Africa as well? And how does it all work? Can you give them a bit of indication as into how frequently do we get paid, Todd, et cetera, et cetera?
We get paid every Friday. We get paid on time every time. And that's been the case since I've been here in 2013. The company's never had some story as to why they couldn't drop the money in your account. Now, obviously getting the physical card is a whole different thing based on where you live. If you're in the United Kingdom, it works like clockwork. If you're in France, it works like clockwork. If you're in the United States or Canada, it works like clockwork. If you're in Australia, it works like clockwork. If you're in some places, I remember like some of our teams in Papua New Guinea and Solomon Islands, and there's various places where ultimately we had to like FedEx the cards to a leader, and they just had to hand them out because you just couldn't trust the mail system, or people were trying to steal the cards. And there was different things going on with that kind of thing. Well, I know that PayQuicker, who's the main company we use, announced this virtual card that people can use. And I happened to see that in my back office just recently too, Lawrence, where I saw the little thing up there. It said virtual card. But I'm not fully sure how it works because I've not used it yet or talked to anyone who has used it, other than I know that they are, okay, we're going to go back to you, other than they making strides to make sure that people can have access to their money right now not dependent upon some mail system having to get you some physical card. And the company will continue to make strides in that arena. There's some places that will go, by the way, in the future, where we might only accept Bitcoin as a payment, and we can obviously pay people in Bitcoin in those countries, where they can obviously get their money right away. We just send it to them via their Bitcoin account. So the company always is going to do whatever it takes to expedite money. And I know that the virtual card, I'll let you talk about that, Lawrence, is making it even easier where we're not dependent upon the mail system having to get you that physical card in order to have your money.
To answer you on that, Todd, when we received our cards, it was vitally important knowing that we've got people like Jacques and Werner and Graham in the African countries and Ati and all the other guys. But it was very important for us to take the virtual card and explore it. And we did. So we took the virtual card, we opened up on Samsung, our Samsung Pay, we opened up our Apple Pay, and we went and we actually made payments with our Apple Pay. So we put the virtual card onto our phones, guys. We went to Marks and Spencer's, we went to Tesco's and a couple of other stores, and we genuinely 100% used our virtual card via our phones to make payment from our cards. And that is vitally important.
It's so huge because there's just so many places around the world where they're hungry for opportunity. And sometimes the banking system has slowed people down. Sometimes just how do you get them their, how do you collect money? How do you get them their payments? And the world continues to come up with tools that help us circumvent geography and create an equal playing field for everyone, no matter where you happen to reside in the world.
So the virtual card, I can tell you, works an absolute treat.
That's so awesome. What a great testimony, Lawrence.
Yep. And I'm going to be doing a video. As you know, Todd, my wife is very straight-laced, and she's going to go and actually make a payment. She's going to show you how to upload the virtual card onto an iPhone, and then she's going to go to our Marks and Spencer's reputable store, and she's going to go and make a payment.
What kind of a store?
Marks and Spencer's. It's an upmarket grocery store.
Okay. So Lawrence is fully committed. He's going to give his card to his wife and say, "Go shopping."
She's got an account, Todd. So Todd, I think from we've been an hour and 5 minutes, and I thank everyone for their patience. I think listening to you, Todd, we could sit here for another hour and 20 minutes, but you've got things to go and do. If you could give our team one more message, what would that be?
I think the final message would be is that going back to even just David Hart. Again, I've known this guy for 20 some odd years. I saw him go to the very highest heights of success in traditional business. And he became, runner-up for Entrepreneur of the Year, Inc. magazine. And then he got into the direct selling industry and saw him go to $85,000 per month in income, saw him become the MVP of another company. He's one of these people that he's just relentless. He just doesn't quit. He's got that Rocky, if you like that movie Rocky, I used that earlier, just a great analogy. He's just got that spirit. He just keeps getting up. Doesn't matter how many times you knock him down, he just keeps getting up. And he'll try it this way, he'll try it that way. He's just a true entrepreneur. He has a heart of gold, loves the business, loves people. When you guys get to actually meet him in person, he'll sit down and eat dinner with you and buy you dinner. And he loves to be connected with the field. He loves to meet the people, hear the stories. He pays people even when he shouldn't pay them. And that tells you a lot about who he is. Well, Dave, the guy ripped us off. I know, but I said I would. I got to be a man of my word. He's one of these kind of people. And so even when you do him wrong, he'll say, look, we're going to part ways. I'm going to pay every penny I told you. But just knowing he's got that, he knows you never mess with people's money. He pays people he shouldn't even pay. I'm talking about certain vendors and going back in some history here. But when you see a guy pay people that most of us, no way we paying that guy after that happened. But I said I would do it, so I'm going to do it. He's one of those people so principled that if I said I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And that does mean a lot when you have someone at the helm of a ship, that you want that kind of person that really has that principle of they stand for something.
Wow.
And so, yeah, he's a great guy. In any business, you'll have ups and downs. COVID-19, I'm sure, came out of left field, but here our business is still doing great. More people on vacations than we've ever had before. And we're about to roll out something new that's extraordinary. And so I think my final message would be is that when you have the right conditions, a company that pays you on time, every time, a company that keeps getting better all the time, a company that has a CEO that truly cares about people, has innovated a compensation plan that's helping more people than any company in the history of the world, and then you're tied in with a dynamic leader like Lawrence, those are the conditions where, you know what, I can't look to the left, I can't look to the right. I'm going to sell out and just absolutely go for it. I'm going to lock arms with Lawrence and make this thing work.
Kind words. We do have one question coming in from Vanna. He almost had a heart attack trying to get our attention there. Vanna?
Todd, thank you, Lawrence. I've got one question, and that's just if you might explain the payment plan, the commissions and all that, how you get to certain levels and how we go forward from there.
Sure. So the first step in our compensation program is you want to get to the point where you are what we call break even. And that starts by getting 3. If you're a platinum, which all of you are, if you're a basic member, you need 4. But as a platinum member, you only need 3. So I come in, I buy a platinum package. I go out and I sell Manny, Mo, and Jack. All 3 of them buy a platinum package. I'm going to earn a direct sales commission off all 3 of those packages of $50 each. So I just made $150. And I'm now earning $4.10 per day US, which is covering my monthly membership. So I'm now earning slightly a little bit more. You're actually earning a little bit more. I'm earning slightly more, barely more, but I'm earning as much as I'm spending. So at this moment, I have the product for free, which, by the way, includes 2 to 3 vacations per year. And one of the reasons I sometimes take some time on this one point is that there are literally tens of millions of moms and dads out there that if that's all we ever did, there was never a chance to actually make money. There was only a chance to have free vacations. How many tens of millions of moms and dads, like, wait, hold on. I tell 3 people and me and my spouse and my kids get 2 to 3 holidays per year for virtually free? Hold on. Jane, Mary, Sue. I mean, get over here. I need to show you something. So if it was just that, that's huge. So that's step 1. Get 3. You are now earning as much or more than you're spending. Well, step 2 is you got to get to the point that you have 600 in volume in your left leg and 600 in volume in your right leg. So you've only got 2 legs in our compensation program. Just like your physical body has a left leg and a right leg, so does your business. So let's assume for a moment you recruit Lawrence and you recruit me. Lawrence is in your left leg. I'm in your right leg. If Lawrence goes out there and brings in 8 platinums, actually he's a platinum himself, so he brings in 7 platinums plus himself, that's 8. You've got me, I bring in 7 platinums, that gives you 8. So you've got 8 platinums on the left, 8 platinums on the right. That means you now have 640 volume in your left leg, 640 volume in your right leg. That's now going to give you $10 per day in our compensation program. So you're earning $300 per month. Plus, if you got your first 3 people in your first 30 days, that gives you an additional $100 per month. That's $400 a month. Plus, you're now earning direct sales commissions, meaning that you're a 1-star director. And that means that you're going to earn the spread between your title and my title. So as we're out there making sales and our people are making sales, you're going to be earning, $10, $20 on every package that gets sold throughout the organization. And that can add another $100, $200 a month to your income. So at this moment, you could be somewhere between $400 and $700 per month because you have a total of 8 people in your left leg, 8 people in your right leg. Well, let's assume that, Lawrence and I, we help a few of our people get a few more people. Let's say, Lawrence has got Vanessa on his team. I got Jock on my team. Our teams are getting bigger. Eventually get to the point that we have 25 total platinums in our left leg and 25 total platinums in our right leg. And that includes me and Lawrence. So you got me and Lawrence, that's 1. You got Jock and Vanessa, right? That's 2. Then we've all got people. There's a total of 25 in each leg. That gives you $2,000 in volume in your left leg, $2,000 in volume in your right leg. That's now going to earn you a minimum of $1,500 per month in commissions. Now, if you add in some of the other bonuses you could be tapping into, the direct sales commissions, the hotel side, things of this nature, we've had 2-star directors earning as much as $2,500 a month. We have some only earning $1,500 a month. That's why I tend to use that average of around $2,000 per month in income when you add up all the total bonuses. And so at this moment, you're $2,000 a month. Now, because we did this earlier, I want to point out that in most companies, they pay you 10% on one leg. So in 99% of the binary compensation programs out there, you would really be earning $200 per month. With us, you're earning $2,000 a month. That's why sometimes you hear us refer to this as a 10x pay program, because we're paying out 10 times as much as what you would earn in a lot of other companies. It's not theory, that's a fact. Now, your next step then is to become a 3-star director. Well, to become a 3-star, you're currently a 2-star at 2,000 volume left, 2,000 volume right. That means we got to triple the volume. We got to go from 25 platinums in the left leg to 75 platinums in the left leg. We got to go from 25 platinums in the right leg to 75 platinums in the right leg. And of course, you're now helping your team, get a few. Now, another way to look at this to keep the math a little simpler is that you're a 2-star director. You have $2,000 in volume in your left leg, $2,000 volume in your right leg. By the way, when you become a 2-star director, you get one of these. So you'll get the ring. You got the little eagle on the side of the ring on that side. You got the little logo of the company on the other side. The rings actually have some weight to them. My ring needs to be clean because you got to remember my ring's pretty old, but they got a lot of bling when they first come out. You got a lot of bling in the ring. You can go get it shined up. But so you get the ring. If you can help 1 or 2 people in your left leg get one of these, and if you can help 1 or 2 people in your right leg get one of these, you become a 3-star director. At this moment, you're now car eligible. You can get a Range Rover, Tesla, BMW, Mercedes, whatever that dream car for you is, up to $600 a month toward the car of your dreams. Your income at this moment is going to be somewhere between $30,000 and $40,000 per year, because you help 1 or 2 people get one of these in your right leg, and you help 1 or 2 people get one of these in your left leg. Your next step is to become a 4-star director. That means I got to go from 6,000 in volume to 10,000 in volume. I got to add 4,000 more in volume. Well, by the way, the bigger your team gets, the faster this starts to happen. The bigger your team gets, the easier this happens. So it seems like, man, I'm jumping a lot of volume here, but you got to remember, many hands make light work. And when you first started, it was just you. You're doing all the shoveling. Well, now you got a team of, 75 in my left leg, 75 in my right leg. That's a lot of shovels. That hole's going to get dug faster. And so I got to get to, 10,000 left, 10,000 right. Well, another way of expressing that is that you help 1 or 2 people in your left and right leg get one of these to become a 3-star director. Just help 1 or 2 more do this again, and you're now a 4-star director. And then if you help 1 or 2 more do it again, you become an ambassador. And so with 15,000 left, 15,000 right, you can become an ambassador in our company, which now gives you a 6-figure income. And again, in 99% of the compensation programs out there, if you had 15,000 volume in your left leg and 15,000 volume in your right leg, your check would be $1,500 a month, 18 grand a year. With us, you're knocking on 6 figures or above. You're either above 6 figures, you're at 96,000. I call it 6-figure neighborhood. You're sitting right there at the 6-figure income level.
Excellent.
Does that help?
Perfect. Bang on. Todd, I want to thank you. I really do. I owe you a beer. I actually owe you a lot of beers. And I look forward to when we see you in person. Todd, before you run though, what would it take Werner and Ati and everyone in South Africa to do? And what would it take Jacques and Graham and everyone in South Africa, in Zimbabwe to do? And what would it take Leanne in Dubai and Vanessa and myself and everyone in England? What would it take to get you here? I mean, if we could set up 3 or 4 meetings across each country, and we could have a minimum of 40 to 50 people at each meeting, so a couple of 100 people for you to come and see over a 3 or 4 day period, is that something you would look at once it's safe to fly?
You took my joke away. You said, what would it take? I said, act of parliament. Right now they're saying, we don't take people from the U.S. here. we don't want your kind. So yeah, obviously all the borders are closed and people from Canada can't come to the United States and people from the U.S. can't come over there. But it doesn't take that much. In fact, as Becky can attest, we stayed up until 2, 3 a.m., Becky, when I was actually just in the U.K.
We did.
Right before COVID happened. In fact, I flew home. The COVID was out there. People kind of knew about it, but it really got hot and heavy right after I got home. And so I think I flew out of the UK beginning of March. And so we were on a world tour. We'd gone to Madagascar. We'd gone to Reunion. We'd gone to Mauritius Island. We'd gone to a couple of places in France. We went to the United Kingdom. We did the meeting there in Birmingham. And then I flew out of Heathrow going back home. And so we just got to build a team, build a presence. For a new country like Zimbabwe, we're probably going to get a couple hundred people on the ground there, but I mean, you can do that pretty quickly. It doesn't take massive numbers. We just have to kind of go out and build it up, and then just kind of, wait for the air to clear and international flights to happen again, which will probably happen, sometime here in the spring of 2021, be my guess.
Excellent. Todd, from our whole team, I know everyone's found it really interesting. I've seen a lot of positive comments. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time, and hopefully we can have you on one of these calls again in the near future with a lot more people.
That'd be incredible. I appreciate all you guys. Thank you so much. If you've not reached out to me on Facebook, feel free to do so, or just contact Lawrence.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you all being on the call. Thank you,
everybody.
Yes, bye-bye.